Now that we know how to request items and how to mark them received once the items have arrived, the last thing we need to know how to do is how to add those items to the inventory. So again, we're up here in our request section, and we're going to go to the received tab here. And then let's say that the sodium chloride that we had requested arrived, and it's sitting on the counter in the stockroom with a sign that says please inventory and put away. So what that means is that it's been marked received, it's here, but it's not inventoried, and none of the information for it is filled out. So what we're going to do is go to the inventory, and then you'll see it's up here at the top, but you can see it doesn't have a, oh no, this isn't it. One second, that's my bad. I just searched it. Now it's up here at the top. But you can see there's no location information, which is important, and that's kind of the main point of inventory, is making sure that everyone can find something, because if someone looks up sodium chloride solution, they're like, oh cool, we have it, but then there's nothing here, that doesn't really help. So go ahead and click on it, and then as a stockroom or inventory employee, it's one of your responsibilities to fill out this information as the mail or other items come in that just don't look like they are in the inventory system. So the location, again, is pretty important. If you don't know what it is, a really easy thing to do, and this is how I typically do it, is you go up to the tab. If you do the right click, duplicate it, and then you can just use the inventory system again to search for sodium chloride. And then you can see where most of them are. So it looks like 33A in the inorganic chemistry closet is where it is. As you start working and as you start going through training, you will be able to understand the locations and the location labels a little bit better. If you aren't for sure, like say this one said 33A, but this one said like 34F, the best thing to do is to go back there and look and check and see, okay, where does it go? Where does it belong? If they're supposed to be on 33A, but there's no room left, but there's room on 33B, go ahead and put it on 33B and just make sure you make that note as you're doing the inventory. A lot of that is going to be up to your own just kind of initiative and kind of where does this fit best, where does it go, and just being confident in that. If you are ever unsure though, make sure you do check. We don't want to lose items or put items in the wrong place. We try to keep everything as organized as possible. So now we know it goes in 33A, so we'll go back to our original tab where we were working with it, and we'll go 308, which is the chemistry stockroom, and then 33A, we'll go ahead and add that information in. And then the type, we're going to want to change that to chemical. And so if you change it to a chemical, you're going to have to put a lot more information in. If it was just equipment or something like that, you could just go ahead and put a barcode on it, or see if it needs a barcode or not, put that information in, and then put the date. If you don't know the date purchased, a lot of times you can just put today's date or whatever day it is when you're doing this. But this is a chemical, so we'll go back to chemical and fill out this information. So the easiest way to fill out this information, because chances are you're not going to know it all off the top of your head, is to go to the vendor website and open up the SDS. So this is from Millipore Sigma. This is the catalog number. It's typically what I like to do is go to the vendor website and then just copy this catalog number, paste it up here, and then it should show up. I already have it open, but we'll do this just for demonstration purposes. So here it is, perfect. And then we can go ahead and click on the SDS, which should be linked somewhere around here. Right here, up here, SDS. All the websites are going to be different. Millipore Sigma, or it used to be called Sigma Aldridge, now Millipore Sigma, is where we get the majority of our chemicals from, so this should be a pretty good place for you to find that information. So we can see here that it gives us a lot of the information that Quartzy is going to ask for. So it gives us, if we go back, let me get rid of that tab. If we go here, we'll see it wants the alternative name, the barcode. That's a barcode that you're going to put on it. We have rows of barcodes in both the stock rooms. I'm just going to make up a number, say it's B3597. Catalog number, that's the catalog number from here. So you can just copy and paste that over. And the course grant designation, we can say chemistry stockroom. Chemistry stockroom. If it was for a class, you would want to put that grant ID in there. So for instance, I think Gen Chem is like 211 and then 212 in the spring. So things like that. Let's just say chemistry stockroom for these, and then we'll just go ahead and do today's date. And then disposal protocol, typically what we want to do for the disposal protocol is just copy and paste the MSDS URL in there. That's typically what we do. And then you can see it asks for things like formula, hazard info, molecular weight, and physical appearance. So the formula is NaCl. If you don't know the formula, it is on the MSDS under section 3, and you can just copy and paste it. Same with the molecular weight, which is 58.4. And then these, and then we'll go ahead and copy and paste the SDS in here. So one thing, the hazard info and the physical appearance have some special directions as far as filling that out. There is a packet hanging on both the chemistry and biology stockroom backboard that kind of tells you how to fill it out. This video will as well, but if you don't want to refer back to this video and if you just like need to look at it really quick, there is a little Quartzy information like packet of papers that you can look at as well. So this kind of tells you there's no hazards, and it says, so if you were going to go to the hazard info, you would just say none. And then for physical appearance, it should be trying to remember where it is. And this is actually good. So if you can't find something, or if you don't know which section it is, we have there are 2 resources you can use. The first one is on the Foxtail website. We have how to read an SDS. So that'll kind of walk you through the main ways, and then you can try and remember that, and you'll get more familiar with it as you go through. But if you go on your computer, and if you use Control F, or if you're on a Mac using the Command F, you can just go ahead and search physical appearance, and typically it'll show up. It says physician. So physical and chemical properties. So appearance, it says clear, liquid, colorless. And then if any of this information was filled out, you'd want to do your best to fill that out as well. So the appearance, you want to say 1, clear, 2, liquid, and then 3, colorless. Pretty simple. Again, if there is any information that you don't know how to fill out, or you don't remember how to fill out, you can look at that packet, or you can try and refer back to this video. And so for the alternative name, sometimes I will just put in the same name. Sometimes MSDS will have alternative names, but sometimes chemicals don't have them. So this one doesn't look like it has an alternative name. Product name, yeah. So that's pretty much how you do that. Chemicals will probably take the longest to do for things like this, just because they are, you do have to fill out all that information. Items and equipment and things like that typically aren't this in-depth and don't need this much work. If you ever have any questions and you don't know how to fill all this information out, you can ask someone else working in the stockroom that has a little bit more experience. They might be able to help you. You can try and ask Teresa. One thing that is really helpful to do is you can kind of set it aside, put a note on it, and then either Teresa will see it when she's in, and she might answer and write on the note as well, or she might walk by and see it and then answer your question right then when you're working. If you are like end of your shift, it's still here, you don't know what to do with it, go ahead, leave it out on the counter with a note that says, you know, I don't know where to put this, or with your question kind of on it, near it. Make sure you write your name on the note so people know who's asking, and then hopefully someone will be able to come by and answer that question. If not, on your next shift, go ahead and try and get that question answered, or you can even send Teresa an email while you're working. Those are all options if you're not quite sure where something goes or how to fill out this information. We want these to be as accurate as possible, so please try and do your best at making them as accurate as possible. So that kind of concludes the main items that Quartzy is used for. I hope that you find these videos helpful and kind of help get you warmed up to how we use this system going into this next school year.